The individual exiting that base model BMW at the valet likely has less than $47 in their checking account. That designer tote your colleague flaunts in the elevator? It costs more than her entire liquid net worth. Welcome to the era of the financial masquerade. While luxury sales hit record highs, the reality is a canyon. Nearly half of all Americans carry a monthly credit card balance. We now owe a staggering $1.28 trillion in credit debt, with the average household drowning under $100,000 in total liabilities. From the investor hiding debt to the influencer 3 months behind on rent, the facade is crumbling. This is a surgical audit to help you navigate the economy with the eyes of the 1%. In this video, I am going to break down the 10 clear signs that someone is fake rich so you can avoid these traps and learn how the top 1% actually build real wealth. Before we dive in, how old are you and what is the single biggest financial hurdle you are facing in your city right now? The first layer of the fake rich phenomenon is the material masquerade. It begins with what we call the entry-level luxury trap. This is the calculated decision to buy the cheapest version of the most expensive brand. You see it in every suburban parking lot, a bare-bones Mercedes with manual seats, no navigation, and the smallest engine available. These vehicles exist because manufacturers understand the dark psychology of the insecure. They know that for a specific demographic, the emblem on the hood is worth more than the actual engineering of the car. Consider the math of the illusion. A fully loaded Honda Accord often costs the same as a base model luxury sedan. The Honda provides superior reliability, better features, and lower maintenance. But the person chasing status refuses the Honda because they are not buying a mode of transportation. They are buying a badge to compensate for a lack of internal substance. This choice carries a lethal secondary cost. Luxury maintenance, premium fuel, and inflated insurance premiums act as a silent tax on the middle class. While the actually wealthy spend perhaps 2% of their income on these categories, the fake rich often sacrifice 30% of their monthly cash flow just to maintain the optics of success. This is a wealth signal ratio that has gone toxic. Let us pause for a moment of internal honesty. Look at your own circle or your own recent history. Have you ever felt the magnetic pull to buy something you could not afford just to silence the feeling of being left behind by your peers? If you have felt that pressure and chose to resist it, comment the word "stand" below. If you fell for it and learned the hard lesson, comment "evolved." Let us see who in this community is truly awake to the game. The second sign of this financial forgery is the cycle of perpetual depreciation, specifically through luxury leasing. Leasing has been normalized as a smart way to drive a new car, but for the average consumer, it is a wealth extraction mechanism. When you lease, you are essentially paying for the most expensive years of a vehicle's life and then handing it back with zero equity. You are financing the depreciation for the dealership. A $50,000 car that is worth $30,000 after 3 years means you have set $20,000 on fire plus interest and fees. The fake rich love this because it allows them to fit a monthly payment into their budget for a car they could never actually purchase. They move from lease to lease, paying hundreds of thousands over a lifetime and owning nothing at the end. This is the high earner not rich yet trap, or the Henry syndrome. They are running on a treadmill of optics where the moment they stop running, the image vanishes. Real wealth is built on appreciating assets. Fake wealth is built on monthly payments for items that lose value while you sleep. To understand the true horror of this choice, we must look at the opportunity cost. If you take that $800 monthly lease payment and instead invest it in a low-cost S&P 500 index fund with an average annual return of 8% over 30 years, that money grows into $1.2 million. The fake rich are literally trading $1 million retirement and total financial sovereignty for the smell of new leather and a plastic key fob. They are choosing to be a servant to a machine rather than a master of their capital. This is not just a bad financial decision, it is a form of self-sabotage that robs your future self of freedom. The third sign is the adoption of counterfeit goods. This is the most transparent admission of financial insecurity. If you carry a fake designer bag, you are advertising that you value the perception of strangers more than your own integrity. The irony is that people who actually understand luxury can spot a knockoff from across the room. The stitching, the hardware, and the leather quality always betray the truth. Furthermore, counterfeit items are not even cheap. Spending $300 on a fake bag is $300 that could have bought a high-quality, unbranded leather piece that would last a decade. The choice to buy the fake reveals that the individual does not care about craftsmanship. They care about the logo. They are paying to carry around evidence of their own pretense. It is a psychological tax paid by those who feel they are not enough without a corporate trademark attached to their identity. Now let us introduce a concept that separates the builders from the victims. We call it the wealth-to-signal ratio. This is a simple mathematical audit for your life. Take your total net worth and divide it by the total value of your visible, status-seeking assets like your car, your watch, and your designer wardrobe. If this ratio is lower than 1, you're in the danger zone. You are projecting more than you possess. The truly elite aim for a ratio of 10 or higher. They have $10 of invisible growing wealth for every $1 of visible luxury. Ask yourself right now, what is my ratio? If you are brave enough, do the math and realize where you truly stand. As we move deeper into the social layer, we encounter the fourth sign, the constant one-upper. For the fake rich, every interaction is a competitive arena. If you mention a promotion, they mention a bigger one. If you talk about a vacation, they describe their business class flight to the south of France. This behavior stems from the belief that success is a zero-sum game. They feel that your achievement somehow diminishes their own, so they must reflexively minimize your win to maintain their perceived hierarchy. This is the opposite of the elite mindset. The truly wealthy are secure enough to celebrate others because their self-worth is not tied to being the most expensive person in the room. They understand that real power does not need to dominate every conversation. It observes, it listens, it acts when the timing is perfect. This leads directly into the fifth sign, social media as a performance. For the fake rich, an experience does not exist unless it is documented and validated by likes. They have turned their lives into a digital Potemkin village. They film themselves at expensive restaurants but order the cheapest appetizer just to get the photo. They take pictures next to private jets they did not fly in. There is a perverse incentive on social platforms where showing off generates more engagement than showing discipline. No one wants to watch a video of you adding $500 to your index fund, but they will watch you spend $5,000 at the mall. The fake rich lean into this, performing prosperity while their actual balance sheet is in shambles. They are buying the appearance of influence to support the appearance of wealth. It is a house of cards built on a foundation of digital approval. I want to ask you something personal. We all have that one person in our lives or on our feed who makes us feel like we are falling behind because of their constant flexing. How does that impact your mental clarity and your financial goals? Does it fuel your ambition or does it drain your focus and make you feel inadequate? Share your thoughts below. This is a safe space for the builders to discuss the psychological weight of the status war. The sixth sign is the future tense billionaire. This is the person who is always about to close a massive deal or waiting for an investment to go to the moon. They talk about projected income as if it is already in the bank. This is a defense mechanism. Because their current reality is unimpressive, they live in a permanent state of anticipation. They confuse revenue with profit and potential with reality. In professional finance, a deal is not real until the funds are cleared and the contract is closed. The fake rich, however, spend the money in their minds months before it arrives. This leads to reckless spending based on hallucinations of future wealth. They are gambling with their present security on the hope of a future windfall that rarely materializes as planned. The seventh sign is the costume of success. We see this in the individual who carries a $5,000 handbag while having less than $2,000 in an emergency fund. They have spent their survival capital on an accessory. There is an elite rule of thumb. If you cannot afford to buy it twice in cash without it affecting your lifestyle, you cannot afford it. The fake rich ignore this. They view a luxury purchase as a shortcut to being perceived as successful. But a luxury item is a celebration of wealth, not a substitute for it. When you buy the costume before you have the character, you are living in a state of high-stakes fragility. One medical emergency or one job loss and the entire image collapses. The bag remains, but the power is gone. Now we must discuss a counterintuitive truth that only the top 1% truly understands. This is the concept of stealth wealth. While the fake rich are desperate to be seen, the truly wealthy often go to great lengths to be invisible. In high-level financial circles, being flashy is seen as a security risk. If you drive a bright red Ferrari and wear a six-figure watch, you are putting a target on your back for lawsuits, kidnappings, and social engineering scams. This is why you will see billionaires driving 10-year-old Toyotas or wearing simple plastic watches. They are not being cheap, they are being strategic. They use their lack of visibility as a shield to protect their time and their assets. They want to be the person who can walk through a crowded airport without being noticed, yet have the liquid capital to buy the airport if they chose to. The fake rich want the fame without the fortune. The truly rich want the fortune without the fame. The eighth sign is the obsession with get-rich-quick opportunities. Because the fake rich are desperate to close the gap between their image and their reality, they are drawn to high-risk volatility. They hop from crypto day trading to Forex to multi-level marketing, always looking for the bypass to the slow process of wealth accumulation. They talk about these opportunities with extreme confidence to recruit others, which provides them with a temporary sense of authority. But when the scheme fails, they quietly move to the next one without acknowledging the loss. Real wealth is built through the boring application of compound interest and long-term value creation. It is a marathon, not a sprint. The fake rich are trying to sprint a marathon while wearing lead shoes made of designer leather. The ninth sign is condescending money advice. The fake rich often become self-appointed experts, criticizing your conservative financial choices to validate their own aggressive ones. If you drive a used car, they ask why you haven't upgraded. If you save aggressively, they tell you that you are missing out on life. This advice is unsolicited and usually serves as a mirror for their own insecurities. They need you to spend money like them so they do not feel alone in their recklessness. A truly wealthy individual understands that financial strategies are personal and vary based on risk tolerance and goals. They do not need your validation to feel good about their portfolio. The 10th and final sign is simply overdoing the optics. The fake rich dress like what they think a rich person looks like in a movie. It is too many logos, too much jewelry, and a desperate need to be noticed. This is the loud wealth that screams for attention. In contrast, the truly elite embrace quiet luxury or extreme simplicity. Their identity is not for sale. Their confidence is internal. When every item someone wears is a billboard for a brand, the signal becomes noise. It reads as desperation, not success. The effort shows, and in the world of true power, showing effort is a sign of weakness. Real wealth is not about what you show. It is about the freedom you possess. It is the ability to walk away from a toxic situation because you have years of expenses in the bank. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing your family is secure regardless of what the market does tomorrow. It is the compound growth happening quietly in accounts that no one else can see. Fake wealth is a performance that becomes more expensive and more exhausting every year. The car needs a newer model. The wardrobe needs an update. The lifestyle requires constant maintenance. The person pretending to be rich is often the poorest person in the room because they have traded their future freedom for the temporary approval of people they do not even respect. As for those of you still watching, here is the bonus truth that the marketing industry does not want you to hear. The most expensive thing you can own is an insecure ego. When you finally stop caring about the opinions of the average, you unlock a level of financial velocity that is inaccessible to the masses. The goal is not to look like money. The goal is to be the money. You must learn to value your net worth over your network's opinion. You must become comfortable with being the person in the room who looks the most ordinary but has the most options. That is the ultimate flex. True wealth whispers because it has nothing to prove. Fake wealth screams because it has nothing to hold on to. If you have stayed until the end, it means you are ready to stop performing and start building. I want you to leave a signature in the comments. Type the words, "I am the builder." This is our secret password to identify who in this community is focused on substance over shadows. If this analysis provided you with a new lens to view the world, do the right thing. Like this video, share it with someone who is currently trapped in the optics game, and subscribe. We are building a community of visionaries who value reality over perception. The journey to true financial sovereignty continues right now. Click the video on your screen to learn the next elite strategy for wealth preservation and mindset mastery. We will see you there.